2025 dazzled as K-pop's Victory Lap trophies' gleaming charts crushed the world watching. Yet strip away the gloss and a disturbing truth emerged. The real story wasn't fame, it was friction. Rosé's Toxic Till the End, topping Radio Disney Mexico, wasn't just a stat, it was a tremor, a silent, terrifying signal that the old rules of the game were broken. A raw ballad fueled by pure soul-shattered barriers. No drama, no cheap TikTok trends, no PR blitz, just art. Yet this terrifying simplicity forced the suits to ask questions they couldn't answer. Historically, K-pop stardom was manufactured. It relied on scripted personas, robotic schedules, and timing dictated by boardroom gods. Then came Rosé, owning the year not with flash, but with scars. She didn't beg to be heard. She whispered, and the world leaned in, unable to look away. Fans didn't just stream it, they breathed it. It haunted the charts. Behind closed doors, execs feared a threat bigger than rivals, the artist who doesn't need them. The era of autonomy. K-pop is built on a tight leash. Predictability is currency. Rosé cut that leash. DJs didn't play her because of payola or pressure. They played her because the people screamed for it. Real power. This difference is vital. When stardom is real, not bought, the machine loses its leverage. The creator outgrows the cage. As the track looped globally, the truth crystallized. Rosé had transcended her label. She wasn't a product anymore. She was a movement bonded to millions by raw feeling escaping the corporate scripts. Charts were just the symptom, the disease, a massive power transfer. Agencies were losing grip on stars who commanded attention without stunts. In the boardrooms, the lack of applause was deafening. The silence was screaming. If this intro feels intense, buckle up. We're just starting. Hit that sub button, stay locked in. We're about to peel back the layers on the steep, bloody price of freedom in this industry. You won't want to miss it. While Rosé soared, her agency went mute. In a biz that normally screams about every minor win with flashy PR blasts, this radio silence was loud. It wasn't an oversight, it was a cold, calculated freeze-out. The contrast was chillingly obvious. This wasn't lazy PR, it was fear. A symptom of the friction that sparks when a star shines too bright for the system. The machine hates it when the cog becomes bigger than the wheel. It is risky. For labels obsessed with a group, a solo megastar isn't a win. It's a nightmare. It feels like a mutiny. It threatens the brand's integrity. Insiders saw the sign success breeds conflict. Suddenly, the boring stuff deals creative rights. Freedom isn't just paperwork. It's a battlefield. When leverage shifts, those polite negotiation meetings turn into high-stakes war zones fast. Show you can rule without the company's help and the throne shakes. You aren't just an employee anymore. You become the boss. Labels hate this. It breeds chaos for execs and the whole system designed to keep stars needy, linked, and swappable. They want cogs, not kings. Independence is their kryptonite. As Rosé ruled the radio, a different drama ignited. Lisa was making moves in a whole new arena. Forget Seoul or LA, she was infiltrating a zone most idols can't touch. The plot thickened rapidly. Her fame in China was a game changer. It proved she had serious selling power outside the usual zone. She was a commercial titan, utterly undeniable. Those two nominations, not just plastic, they were receipts. They proved she had leverage. That scares the strict K-pop system way more than just loud fans. K-pop loves to brag about global hits but dreads the contract talks they spark. Big wins mean weight. Trophies bring tension. As Rosé's soul-bearing art and Lisa's sales empire rose side by side, the stakes skyrocketed dangerously high. The industry faced a hard truth. The girls weren't asking, "May I?" anymore. They were forging paths that didn't fit the agency map. They were outgrowing the very factory that built them up. History teaches us one fact: when this power shift happens, a brutal war is imminent. When Lisa's China nominations dropped, the tone shifted sharp. No confetti, just spreadsheets. The industry stopped cheering and started counting the costs. Snagging 2 spots in the planet's toughest arena was a massive wake-up call. The industry had to face facts it usually ignores. Winning abroad isn't just about being famous. It means way more. It's about sway, buying power, and surviving outside the agency bubble. No safety net. Lisa aced this. She proved she can stand tall without the crutch. China crushes global acts daily. The walls, the picky crowds, the fierce contests, it's a meat grinder. Just being famous won't save you. Your past wins don't count. It demands respect, not hype. But Lisa didn't just survive. She reigned. The sales were staggering, proving this wasn't just fan noise. It was real market demand. That's hard leverage. When you pull numbers like that, the boardroom dynamic changes instantly. You stop taking orders and start giving them. As her fame rose, old frictions returned. K-pop wants statues, not captains. They want pretty icons who nod, not bosses who think. But when you get this huge, you can't be contained. The power grid crumbles. Each nod changed her from a singer to a mogul, from a pawn to a queen. This growth is messy. It scares the suits who rely on obedience, not partnership. It shakes the foundations of their control freak empire. Meanwhile, the lens zoomed out. JISOO, usually the quiet, steady rock, flipped the script. She entered a new chapter. When the news dropped about her massive haul of nominations, jaws hit the floor. Everyone was stunned. She redefined the rules. 13 nods. That wasn't just a shock. It was an earthquake. It proved that the slow burn, patience, grit, and poise is just as dangerous as overnight instant fame. It shook the whole industry. Combined, these events exposed a truth the biz couldn't hide. Solo power wasn't a fluke anymore. It was the new normal, and this wave, it wasn't stopping. It was crashing down, washing away the old laws and writing new ones in the sand. The game was reset. JISOO's 13 nods did more than stun fans. They rattled the execs. K-pop loves to talk about long careers, but hates the reality. They want you around, but only if you stay in your box. They praise your loyalty, but stifle your growth. She broke that curse now. Her sweep across the board smashed that paradox. She didn't win by being loud or messy. She won by playing the long game. Years of silence, smart moves, and building trust, brick by brick, finally exploded. The dam broke. Her quiet, undeniable power flooded the whole scene. The crazy part, they couldn't brush this off. 13 nods across the board meant she wasn't just a member, she was a titan. Her influence wasn't small or niche anymore. It was massive, spanning the whole world. She broke out of her lane. Quality, impact, and sales collided to create a monster phenomenon. JISOO became a juggernaut. She didn't need flashy stunts to turn heads. She commanded the stage with pure, undeniable authority. Her duet Eyes Closed threw fuel on the fire. Global link-ups usually flop due to weird vibes, but this one struck the perfect bullseye. China didn't just glance at it, they obsessed over it. This wasn't a fling, it was a commitment. It showed deep loyalty, not just a passing interest. The shock was real. Pulling a Western star into record-breaking nods proved the project's massive scale, not a one-off win. It was structural power. She was changing the entire map. With Lisa's sales crushing it and JISOO's praise stacking up, a theme emerged. It was glaring. They weren't just playing the game anymore. They weren't dancing to the industry's cold tune. The industry was chasing times, them asterisk. Behind the PR, Smile's panic truly set in. The math was being redone. When stars break their molds, tension spikes. In K-pop, that pressure is the fuse before the explosion. It signals a real metamorphosis. As 2025 closed, the talk wasn't about stats or trophies anymore. It was deeper. What seemed like solo wins morphed into a scary mosaic for the execs. The big picture was terrifying. The old guard was fast losing the narrative. 3 roads, 3 powers, 1 destination. The machine is broken. The system that used to own them isn't the boss anymore. They are steering their own ships, and the agency is just a passenger. Rosé showed that real feelings beat fake trends. Her radio reign was a slap in the face to the formula. It exposed a scary fact. You don't need the factory to win. Soul beats the algorithm. When fans pick heart over flash, the leash snaps. Lisa proved that when you own the sales in the toughest market, you aren't a product. You're the titan. You sit at the head of the table. Cash flow is the ultimate veto. Numbers scream louder than contracts. They flipped the script. JISOO proved that calm, steady vibes and calculating moves can hush the loud claim that you must scream to be heard. It is a quiet, lethal takeover. What scared the suits the most wasn't the heat but the lock. It wasn't a fling. It was signed in blood, hailed by the scene, and tough to undo. A real love that refuses to die no matter what happens. No drama fed this fire. No lies pumped it. That made the wait real, the fight harder, and the gaze impossible to avert, babe. For a biz addicted to total control, this rogue success is a trap. When stars don't need the system's fake love to survive, the system must change or face the brutal fact that it is no longer the main event. Period. The silence from the suits was the loudest noise of all. In this game, quiet means backroom wars and frantic math. When staying means losing your soul and leaving means finding your voice, every step is a political bomb waiting to detonate. The fans felt the heat, the insiders saw the truth. It wasn't about if they won, but what that victory would ask for in the next chapter, truth. And this is where the plot explodes, because when stars outgrow the cage, the escape reshapes the whole world. Power never fades, it just moves to new hands, hands that are ready to hold it for good, darling. If you want to ride the next wave, don't just stand there staring. Sub to the channel, smash that like button, and drop your hottest takes in the comments below. Is this the dawn of a solo queen era or the start of a massive civil war? Keep your eyes peeled because the next page of this story might just flip the whole script upside down for good.